answers? I think I'm entitled. You want answers? I want the truth. You can't handle the truth.
Yeah, what does happen when truth doesn't matter anymore? I'm Sean Sims, the host of The Outsiders podcast, and of course I'm with my superstar co-host, Marvin Doc Cheatham. Doc, how things going?
Good day, things are going great, and God bless everybody.
God bless everyone. Had a past Easter, of course. You know, Passover's coming up. I believe it's the 23rd. Passover. I guess this year Easter and Passover on different days. But I want to get into what's going on. We're going to be talking about the presidents and chicken. I don't know what's going on with the presidents and chicken. Here we go again. The political poll, specifically the most recent mayor's race here in Baltimore City, and recalling. We definitely got to get this recall. Kick the bum out. That has to be done. Kick the bum out. And sexual harassment, which is running rampant in Baltimore City. So we're going to talk about that and the upcoming protest. April the 30th at the Elijah Cumming courthouse building. So we're going to be talking about that as well. And Diddy, did he do it or did he didn't do it? So, and there's of course that shape up in rap music, that shake up that's going on. And there's a very famous pastor, very well known, thousands and thousands and thousands and thousands of members in this church, and he's caught up in this hot mess, Doc. So we're going to be talking about that.
Had not heard that.
Oh yeah, we're going to be talking about that as well. So I want to touch on the Orioles. I want to touch on the Orioles and what's going on. And they're bringing up. I'm glad they should have let them start the season. Jackson Holiday. What do you think of the Orioles bringing Jackson Holiday up?
Well, I'm an Orioles fan. I don't want to say I'm excited about it because he's so young and so inexperienced, but he's a highly talented, one of the most highly talented young players I've ever seen. Didn't play too well yesterday, but I'm really optimistic. I think this is the Orioles' year. And I think with all of these young players, my only fear is they don't have the experience that someone like my friend Reggie Jackson once had. You know, when you got into the World Series, that's when the folks that are really good athletes stand out. And that's what made Reggie, in my view, one of the best players because he was showtime.
Mr. October.
At the end of the games. And
yeah.
I just don't know, with all of these young guys, they're very talented, but they haven't been put to the test. But I'm an Oriole fan. Let's go O's.
Let's go O's. And Reggie Jackson was known as Mr. October because he was clutch when they needed him. He did play, I think he played a season or two with the Orioles as well. But he was Mr. Clutch, Mr. October. And these young guys, they need to... They're going to feel the heat. They won 101 games last year. Now, I don't really care about that, to be perfectly honest with you. My focus is on winning the pennant, getting into the playoffs, and doing much better than you did last year because they didn't win one playoff game. As a matter of fact, the Ravens didn't win a playoff game either. So Baltimore's 0-4.
Not too well.
Yeah, Baltimore is 0-4. In playoff games last year. So let's see how the Orioles they fare. And of course O.J. Simpson passed away. The Juice, number 32 with the Buffalo Bills. A running back par excellence. I mean, his stats are off the chart. And Doc, we all know about the trial and all it went down. But how do you feel? What do you think about the Juice? O.J. Simpson passed away.
O.J. Orenthal James was his name. I think he was one of the greatest running backs we ever had because of his ability and the speed that he had. You know, I always think that Jim Brown was the greatest running back that we ever had, and then you had people like Gail Sayers. But I really think O.J. at the time that he was a running back, he was hard to catch and hard to catch because he could fake you out so well. So I kind of liked him. I'm O.J.'s age. He's 3 years older than me. I did get a chance to meet him.
Oh, okay.
I got a chance to meet a lot of, I guess, real good athletes because I guess I was perpetrating that I was an athlete myself.
No, you were an athlete. You were a legit athlete, Doc. Come on. I believe, I mean, you're more old. You're talking about Gail Sayers and you're talking about those guys who were, and of course, Jim Brown and Barry Sanders and Walter Payton were more in my time frame, along with OJ, but I'm going to have to put Barry Sanders and Walter Payton, a great one. Oh my goodness. I was watching highlights of him the other night.
Walter was amazing, and I just really think we should have been able to do far better by him health-wise. There's no way we should have lost him when we did. I really don't think that the folks that have the medical expertise provided as much as they could have for him. I'm not saying I'm blaming or putting responsibility on anyone, but Walter left us too soon, had too great of a talent, and I just think, you know, we should have done better by him health-wise. Well,
we're gonna have our special guest. She's running for District 9. I believe that's John Bullock. John Do Nothing Bullock. I don't know what the guy's in there for, but she's running in District 9, and there was some controversy that happened this week where she was, I believe, she was to speak, and for whatever reason, they didn't let her. But the men got to speak. They left the black woman off, but the men got to speak. So we're going to be talking. We're going to be calling a.
No, I had not heard that.
Oh yeah, Doc. You know, The Outsiders. Our show is par excellence. No one touches us. Information, inside information, covering the news, what goes on, covering things that other people will not talk about. They're scared to talk about. They have people who are controlling what they say, no matter what venue they're on. So they're in a situation where they can't really say what they want to say and talk about what they want to talk about because they're being controlled by someone. But that's not the Outsiders, Jack. No. We're not, no one controls us what we say. We say the truth. We put it out there the way it is. And speaking of which, I want to get into this because people need to know about this. And I don't believe that folks in Baltimore and Maryland, all over the country, I believe this is quiet in what's going on with Diddy and a certain pastor who's involved with this hot mess. So I'm going to go ahead and cue it up and just get it in. And let's just go ahead and get it in right from the jump. Here we go. Let me cue this up. Okay.
Because there's a couple of things that really bother me here.
The scandal swirling around Diddy just got a blockbuster boost. None other than Hollywood heavyweight Will Smith has been pulled into fray. Reports have surfaced claiming that Smith was not just an innocent bystander at Diddy's infamous freak off, but may have been a willing participant in the controversial events. With each passing day, the drama thickens, and now it seems the spotlight is shifting towards Smith, raising eyebrows and leaving fans in disbelief.
It's because they gathered so much evidence. Well, supposedly they gathered so many videos and laptops and also electronic devices.
As investigators delve deeper into Diddy's world of lavish parties and scandalous allegations, they've stumbled upon unexpected connections, including one with the Fresh Prince himself. Could Will Smith's involvement be more than just casual?
Pastor T.D. Jakes named inside of P. Diddy's lawsuit. What's really going on, Chick?
Pastor T.D. Jakes, let me say that one more time. Pastor T.D. Jakes named inside P. Diddy's lawsuit. Y'all have to see this video, man. Make sure you stick around for the full video so you can hear about the other celebrity names that have been dropped inside this lawsuit with this big old scandal going on with P. Diddy Combs, with this sex trafficking stuff and all them wild parties that they was throwing over there, all that homosexuality stuff that was going on, these sexual acts. Y'all have to see this, man. Pastor T.D. Jakes named inside the lawsuit. And I hate to be the one to say I told you so. Birds of a feather, they flock together.
The feds swooped in and raided Diddy's properties earlier this week. 50 Cent wasted no time in taking to social media to throw some serious shade at Jay-Z. He's out here questioning why Jay-Z has suddenly vanished into thin air. Now, sure, some people are quick to brush off 50's comments as just him stirring the pot because of their past beef and his penchant for being extra petty. But hold on, it's not just 50 calling out Jay-Z on this one. There have been whispers from various insiders in the industry about how Jay and Diddy run in the same circles.
All of this big deviance is all catching hell in 2024. It's up for all of them. It don't matter if you Diddy or whoever you is. P. Diddy.
Yeah, but just like Cat Williams says, it doesn't matter if it's Diddy or whoever you is. No matter how you come in, putting it out, whoever you is. Cat, come on, you're killing me. Cat, come on, Cat, Cat, come on, Cat. What this is, Doc, it reads like a who's list. I'm going to be covering this because of the people who are involved in these freakniks or whatever, these parties and sex trafficking and all kinds of sex abuse and all. This is getting crazy, Doc. What did you think of what you just heard?
It's kind of scary to me because the influence that some of these big names that are coming out with these allegations, I gotta say allegations because they all haven't been proven yet, but it's very troubling. And I guess the thing that troubles me the most is the negative effects that it's having on our women. I'm very touchy when it comes to women issues and protecting our women. And it troubles me a great deal. I'm hoping more information comes out because I'm still learning what's happening here because I'm almost in disbelief that it's happening.
It's happening. It's going on, and it's just going to keep blowing up. Cat Williams made the call, and when he was on Shay, former Baltimore Ravens Super Bowl champion Shannon Sharp, on his show. And he said, you know what, it's coming out. These people with this sex trafficking and you people out there, and we're going to be covering it in just a little bit about the city, the state, what's going on with sexual abuse, harassment, all types of retaliation, plantation situation. That's why the protest is going to be happening on April the 30th in front of the Elijah Cummings building. And you're going to be there's going to be more about that, and there's going to be a petition that's going to be put out, that's coming out, and all this is coming out, and Cat Williams is calling it right, and this is what I want to segue into as well, because people need to hear about the things that are going on. And again, this involves, I don't know, with this sexual harassment. What is with these people? What are you, crazy? Let me go ahead and play this, Doc. You got to hear this and what's going on. Okay, let me cue this up. Okay, here we go.
This year in Colorado, we have seen lawmakers and we've seen Denver's mayor accused of sexual harassment.
Well, one city's taking action. It has revamped its policy to deal with allegations against elected officials. Liz Gilardi is live with details on that, Liz.
While before, Lakewood didn't have a policy to deal with sexual harassment allegations involving elected officials. The city is being proactive in the wake of numerous stories about harassment scandals, including a Denver 7 investigation that exposed harassment claims against Denver's mayor. Lakewood City Council just adopted a policy to handle these incidents when they do involve a government official. But
Campaign to stop sexual harassment now includes the Chicago City Council. Today, aldermen passed an ordinance that holds them and other elected officials in Chicago accountable. CBS 2's Jim Williams reports those who violate the new law could be fined thousands of dollars.
Fraser City Council voted to throw Mayor Joe Nichols and Councilman Matt Himmelberg out of office.
They're out over allegations of inappropriate shoulder massages to female city employees, as well as comments that were sexual in nature. Mara McDonald is live at Fraser City Hall. And Mara, removal of an elected official is serious business here.
It is, Kimberly, and usually something only done by a sitting governor and only in the most extreme of circumstances. Think Kwame Kilpatrick. Tonight, Fraser City Council opted to take matters into their own hands, but will it survive a legal challenge?
It's how New York Governor Kathy Hochul describes the sexual assault allegations against former Governor Andrew Cuomo. Hochul was asked about the 515-page report on testimony and transcripts from Attorney General Tish James's office. Cuomo was questioned for 11 hours about claims he sexually harassed or groped 11 women. Brittany Camiso, one of those women who accused Cuomo of forcible touching.
Hollywood has been forced to take a hard look at itself as news of Harvey Weinstein's sexual misconduct spiraled into a scandal. Virtually overnight, women in Hollywood and elsewhere have gone on social media to share their stories of sexual harassment and abuse using the hashtag #MeToo. This week, women in California politics joins the fray, saying enough. More than 140 women in state politics, from staffers to lobbyists to elected officials, have signed an open letter calling out what they say is the culture of sexual harassment and assault in the halls of state governments.
Yes, it's in the halls of state governments, including the state of Maryland, Baltimore City Circuit Court. Now what's going on down there? And I'm gonna go ahead and read it because this is public. It's public information. And a letter by yours truly was sent to the Attorney General, Anthony Brown. Now, the Attorney General in New York State, Letitia James, she did what she was supposed to do. Letitia James got involved, to stop this heinous crime, these heinous crimes, which were going on in the state of New York. That's how the Attorney General in the state of New York handles things. How does Anthony Brown, the first black elected Attorney General for the state of Maryland, how does he handle things? See, I'm going to go ahead and read this because he knows what's going on. His office, the Attorney General's office in the state of Maryland, they just handle things differently than New York. You, Anthony Brown, were elected by the citizens of the state of Maryland to right that which is being done wrong in this state, to correct the insufferable acts of people like Clerk of the Court Xavier Conaway. Your silence and your complicity in his actions against my wife. Yes, this involves my wife, because it's going to be public. The protest is going to be public. The federal case lawsuit's been filed. And what's been going on, I've been keeping quiet. I haven't told anyone on the podcast. I haven't come out and said it. I'm coming out and saying it now prior to the protest. And it's just not her. It involves the employees of the Circuit Court for Baltimore City. And Bishop Barry Chapman has been handling those situations and those cases. He's going to be, of course, part of the rally. So will Doc. But let me continue. Your silence and your complicity in his actions against my wife and the friends and wives of other black men in Maryland shows me that your historic moment was nothing but a farce. The judiciary employees in Baltimore City are having their civil rights stripped from them on a daily basis by the Clerk of the Court, Xavier Conaway, and his administration. There is more to this email. Many people were carbon copied. Agencies were carbon copied on this, as well as the media. Because this is not going to go down like this. You bunch of creeps out here, you sexual harassers, you creeps, because that's what you are, and human resources being a part of it and actually propagating it as well. All of you people, you folks, you think you can do this under and be behind closed doors, and you don't think that the evil that you do behind closed doors is going to come out to the light? You got another thing coming, Doc. What do you think?
soldiers, but I think we're going to need a lot more help than what we presently have. This sounds much bigger than I had ever imagined, and I really think we got to, request some folks come to the table with us. I don't want to call upon the black men. I've lost my faith in black men this year.
Oh, boy.
But I do know that we have a couple of women organizations. I think that can help us a great deal, like 100 black women here in Baltimore. But I think we need to wave the flag on the 30th of April to let folks know that this problem should not exist, and it's not decreasing, it's increasing. And if we don't get a hammer on it soon, it's going to negatively affect more women. And my whole thing is that, if anybody should be taking out black women, it's black men.
Well, in Baltimore City, the black men are failing unless you're Marilyn Mosby. Unless you're Marilyn Mosby, it's all hands on deck. Marilyn Mosby has an issue, and I understand why they're coming to her aid, and that's all well and good. Do it. Do what you need to do, bruz. But you have other women out here. Marilyn Mosby is not the only black woman in Baltimore City the last time I checked. Last time I checked is 560,000 people, and I'm pretty sure that half of them are female, maybe more than half are female. So there are other people in Baltimore City, you black men, and don't get on your high horse and say, well, we came to Marilyn Mosby's defense, and you let all these other black women down. That's not gonna fly.
We have to be, we need to be selective as we can. But I think some of these overnight civil rights folks don't know a damn thing about civil rights, but now they become experts in this field. And they really don't know the difference between a lawsuit case and a civil rights case. And there's a substantial difference between a civil rights issue and a legal issue.
Exactly.
Yes, it can be both. But we need to understand very carefully here in Baltimore that there are some injustices that we must, as black men, say, no, this is not going to happen under our watch. I commend you guys for what you're doing with Marilyn. I consider her to be a friend, but I do not consider her case to be a civil rights case.
And she's not the only black woman who's had situations where she's being, as far as they're saying, and as far as the way I've looked at it, that was unjustly done. I mean, the way that was put together and the way it was done, I don't completely disagree with it. But you have to, black men, you can chew bubblegum and walk at the same time, okay? So we're going to have this rally on April the 30th. Doc's put in for the permit. We're waiting for the permit. Waiting for the permit. April the 30th, 12 o'clock, 12 noon, in front of the Circuit Courthouse for Baltimore City. And on that note, what I'm going to do is I'm going to call Sonia Eaddy. She's running for District 9. And it has here, she's the unbought fighter. I like that. Unbought, I like that part, and I like the fighter part. So,
sounds good, doesn't it?
Oh yeah, so I'm going to go ahead and I'll pull her up. Let's see. Okay, everyone, hold on. We're making a call for Sonia Eaddy. And she's running for Councilperson District 9. Okay, let me go ahead and make that call. And we're calling Miss Sonia Eaddy, The Outsiders. She's running for Council District 9. Okay, I believe we have her on the phone. Hello, Sonia, are you there?
Hi.
Hi, Doc Cheatham. Doc Cheatham's on the line with us. How you doing? You're on The Outsiders.
Okay, how you doing, Doc Cheatham?
We're doing great. Good to hear you. Looking forward to listening to you.
Yeah, terrific. I'm glad. And I know what happened is I met Sonia at the event this past week, and there were folks there who were running for office. Mr. Thuru Vignaraja, Bob Wallace, Donald Scoggins, even Uncle Wayne was there. I mean, you know, and Tory Rose, of course, was there, and the infamous Pigpen, James Torrance, District 7, Pigpen. I stood right next to Pigpen, and I'm like, please say something to me, James. Please, Pigpen, say something to me. But here we go. But he didn't, wisely enough. And Sonia, I want to ask you, with District 9 and what's going on there, we know John T. Bullock, I guess he likes to use his middle name. He's a council person. Why are you running to oversee John Bullock?
Well, the reason that I'm looking to upseat John Bullock is that I got fed up, you know, with the battles that we were having just here alone in my neighborhood. Trying to have our council people, you know, speaking and representing us on our behalf with the true voices of the community. And that wasn't happening. You know, opinion at hearings going down to city planning and the planning committee. Every time there was an issue concerning my neighborhood, you know, it was not good representation, and it was as if, you know, we were seeked out to be silent, you know, speaking on the development and all that was happening in my neighborhood. I had been trying to get the rec center open. You know, it was no responses from the city. Every challenge that we had in our neighborhood. I'm the president of the community association here called Simpson now, and I became the president in 2017. And so when I became the president, you know, I took a different stance on how do we achieve certain things that, you know, I see the need of the community with. And that was having issues with our children in the rec center that I grew up playing in, you know, the playgrounds and all that. I grew up in this neighborhood. It was all closed, you know, and I had a place for my grandkids to go and have a safe space. You know, it became a real challenge, and so they're seeking outside help to find out how can we get these things open, how can we get the investment put back into the community, and our leadership wasn't present.
Okay, so John Bullock, I don't mean to cut you off. I want people to understand what's going on here. So John Bullock, who is the incumbent, who is the council person for District 9, he didn't open any rec centers, and he didn't improve the situation for the younger folks so that they would have something to do, and you were trying to get that done. Was he blocking it, or he just wasn't doing anything?
Just wasn't doing anything. See, one dynamic that we have over here in Simpson is that there was a development planning strategy back in 2004. You know, and because of that development, that LDBA agreement that the city made with this developer here in the neighborhood, any type of development, any type of improvements or investments that the community was seeking was held up, you know, because of this development. And so there was no other money, no other anything coming in if it wasn't in reference to that particular development. So when we came to these hearings, it was when giving testimony, it was like our testimony was irrelevant because it was in opposition to the development.
Okay, so it sounds like to me there was some blocking going on, and this is what I want to read. Now this is from your flyer, and it says, as your council member, I will prioritize promoting community-driven decision-making processes. Join me in creating a stronger, more inclusive District 9, pledge your support, etc., etc. And you, of course, can give out your link as well on the podcast. So this decision-making process, the community was being kept out of decision-making processes?
Yes, and that's really what I'm beginning to look, not just in my neighborhood of Poppleton, but around me. Because over the last 20 years, I've been seeing a lot of vacancy. You know, and I'm just wondering, like, where did all the black people go? You know, over the years, I'm looking at where did all the black people going? Because our neighborhoods became more and more vacant. You know, and just driving through the Slayton Lancaster area. all through the areas where I went to school at Harlem Park. You know, my friends that I had in other neighborhoods, my family that I had up in that neighborhood. It's like it was just vacant, and then you became to see the houses that's created in Portland, and bulldozers coming through. So I know that the challenge wasn't just here, but it was within the 9th district.
Okay, well, let me ask you a question. We were at this event. I met you at this event this past week, and for whatever reason, Bullock, he got to speak along with 2 of the other candidates who were running for Council District 9, and you were not, you weren't up there. And so the men got to speak, but I guess they're leaving the women out. What kind of, I don't know, misogynist mess? I thought that was a really bad look. Just briefly, how did it happen where you weren't allowed to speak?
I wasn't allowed to speak, they said, because I did not confirm to be present in that time. For the time slot for the platform.
Okay, but you were there. I saw you there, and the other candidates running for that District 9 were there. So you could have just gone up there, and they could have had you speak. It's not about these people. See, here's the thing. These people who are running these events, like the Baltimore Teachers Network, and what happened with that WJZ event where they blocked the candidates from speaking, which was horrific, and now you have this happening to yourself. And it's not about these people who are running these events. It's about the people getting the information on the candidates so they know, okay, this is what this candidate believes, so they can choose. And this elitist attitude is just permeating throughout Baltimore City, and the mayor's race as well. It's a disgrace. It's disgusting. So with all that said, Sonia, what are you going to do? Let's say your first 30 days. What are you going to do if you get in, or once you get in as District 9 council person? What would your plans be to help your community?
One of the things that I must say is that I just feel this urgency that if we do not get out and vote, this 2024 election, this is like, for me, a life and death situation for our people in our 9th district. What investments that we have not received, I believe we will continue not to receive. And what they want to give us is what gentrification looks like.
Mm-hmm.
The people who does not look like us, the people who have been legacy homeowners or legacy renters who have helped the city's tax base, who have suffered through all of the disinvestment, suffered in the city. And with the decline, who either was forced out because of disinvestment, tired of living in the conditions that they lived in. If you have a house, if you're a homeowner, you couldn't refi it and you couldn't sell it. You know, and what they're trying to bring to our neighborhoods, what they're proposing in their development, or what they call improvement, is something that's not going to represent us.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
So when you talk about sustainability, putting in the things that's going to be sustainable for us, it has to reflect us. It has to be a part of our culture. You know, it has to be things that are going to help to improve our livelihoods.
Well, let me ask you something.
These are the things that I'm saying. So those are the things that I want to focus on.
Well, this is what I want to do. Doc, do you have any questions or what do you want to ask Sonia Eaddy, running for District 9?
Well, I would say this, that we're, I guess, a neighborhood that's adjacent to her. We, of course, the 7th, and she, of course, is the 9th. But some of the same shortcomings that are happening in her district of 9, we're having in District 7. We have a serious food problem, both of us. We both have far too many vacant buildings. We have a elected official who seems, in our case, ours answers to a state senator. Yours, I don't know who he answers to, but I do know that you have the same problem. The two districts that have the largest number of homicides in the last 7 out of 10 years has been Southwest and Western. We need, the saying is when spider webs unite, they can tie a lion. And I really think we need to have some conversations with you in your neighborhood, because I think some of the things that you have espoused today, we're experiencing the same problems. And oftentimes, if you kind of put your resources and minds together, you may have more success. So I'm sad to hear what's happening to your area, but your next door neighbor in the Western District, we're experiencing the same things. We have a recreation center that the only time you know that it's open is on Sundays. And that's for the church. It ain't for the community. It's for the church.
And so what I recognize, Dr. Cheatham, is that you have to go beyond your borders. You know, when I recognized what was going on here in Poppleton, I came and I went into the other neighborhoods. Even I reached out even as far as East Baltimore, because when they like to have us divided.
Yes.
When we're working in those solos, the city can actually come to you and make you some promises. And we have a tendency of taking, and giving up on if there's a collaboration. But if they reach out to you and make you a promise, oh yeah, we're going to do this and that and other, we don't go back and disconnect. Just so that you can finally get your little piece of pie. And forgetting about we came together, because coming together is going to strengthen all of us. Because all of us need the same essentials. But if we are not working together, we're not standing together, then the other neighborhood is still going to suffer.
That's true.
So I can see that we have to bridge these gaps of division. We have this highway to nowhere that I've been campaigning for, to make sure that the reformations come back up on top of the highway. Then these the neighborhoods that are bound to the highway to nowhere, that the people who were displaced, when they were kicked out, the division that they brought with their highway separated our neighborhoods. And so I lived here within that. I'm a native of Baltimore City, raised up in Poppleton neighborhood. Dad still lives here. And so I know that we can't do it by ourselves. I know that if you can make change in one neighborhood, then it can continue.
Okay, Sonia, I just wanted you to give out your information. Give out your information so people can look you up.
So I'm prioritizing reopening up the schools, the Baltimore City schools. One of the things that I recognize is they continue to close schools, but if you're talking about repopulating a community, a school is a necessity. It's an essential. It's an amenity to the neighborhood.
Okay.
So looking to reopen schools.
Give out your website. Give out your information, your website,
okay,
so people can they can click on to you, see what your campaign is about, what you want to do for the city. What's your information, your website?
So my website is Sonia for Baltimore City. That's number 4. Sonia for Baltimore City @gmail.com.
Okay, that's Sonia, SONIA. We're gonna make that Sonia, SONIA, for the number 4, Baltimore, and where's that again?
Baltimore City.
@gmail.com. Okay, Sonia Eaddy, thanks for being on The Outsiders. We're gonna keep a look. We're gonna be taking an eye, keep a look, and see how your campaign's going. And we'll probably get back in touch with you. We may have you on again before the election. Okay.
Okay.
Okay, thanks a lot.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bye-bye. That was Sonia Eaddy. She's running for District 9 against incumbent John, I haven't seen you do anything, Bullock. And this guy, he voted for Worley, so I didn't dig that. And I don't know if he's pro-bike. You can put a bike lane wherever the hell you want. I think he's for that too. I'm not sure on that, but John, I'd be glad to see you go.
We would like to say this, that we are having a voter registration drive on Monday. Monday happens to be the birthday of A. Philip Randolph, the organizer for the March on Washington.
Oh, okay.
We're having voter registration from 4 o'clock to 6 o'clock on Monday in the 1500 block of McKean. That's where we have our park and playground. And I hope our good sister that's running for council comes by. We'll give her an opportunity to speak because she's the community right next to us. So many of the shortcomings that they are experiencing, we are. And as I said, when spider webs unite, they can tie up a lion. We need to join forces because many of the shortcomings that communities are having, we're having them collectively, but we're not coming together to fight together to help each other. So we would like to invite her to come. We'll give her an opportunity to speak, but it is voter registration Monday. Folks in Baltimore City, I would just say, we have communities like Santown, Winchester, when the overwhelming majority of folks that live in the area are not registered to vote. So Monday, we want to tell everybody, come join us, but also encourage folks that it's voter registration day this upcoming Monday.
Okay, great. Voter registration day and this upcoming Monday. So get your folks, get out there. Sonia, you heard it. You have an invite to speak. Okay. By Doc Cheatham.
1500 block of McKean. It's the entire block. We have the entire block. We have the largest, cleanest, safest pocket park in Baltimore City, second to none.
Second to none. And that segues in perfect with voters and recall. You have a lot of clowns in office, and the president, you can recall the president of the United States. It's not called a recall. Okay, what you can do is you can have the president, okay, and you can put him up for impeachment and go through a process. So they did that with Trump. What? They impeached him 2-3 times, but they didn't succeed. But there is a process. Then you have Amendment 25, I believe. 25th Amendment, you can invoke that. So what I'm trying to say is, folks, there are mechanisms for the president if he gets in and he starts going cuckoo clock and he wants to nuke everybody or something crazy. You got to get him out. So you have mechanisms to do that. Now, for the mayor, there needs to be recall, not just for the mayor, any elected official in Baltimore City. There should be a recall mechanism or remove and replace mechanism, some way to get these people out. And there was a meeting at Tawnytown, I believe Pennsylvania, Tawnytown, and there was a meeting with their, I believe their city council. Doc, tell me what, I want you really to, I know you listen to everything, but I want you to tell me what you think of this meeting and what was said, and I want our audience to hear this. I'm going to go ahead and cue this up, and this was just a few months ago, a Tawnytown meeting. In regards to
constraints maintain balance between accountability and stability. It's an important safeguard against abuse of the removal process.
I appreciate that. Just to kind of counter on some of that. So the idea that, again, going back to the 1,200 signatures, that is a lot of signatures that somebody would have to get just to put somebody on the recall ballot. Not only that, after that, there's still a vote. The citizens would still have to vote on whether that person is recalled. While I understand that you want the censure to be there because realistically, let's say there's 3 council members. Let's say they've been up here for 8 to 12 years. Let's say there's stuff that they have done that they want to be held, that people want to see them held accountable for. Well, realistically, those 3 people are not going to vote to censure each other. It's just not, it's not going to happen.
I don't think we need to discuss this anymore. This is outrageous. I mean, I don't have, it doesn't have any merit whatsoever.
That's what elections are for.
So every 4 years, that's the only time that an elected official should be held accountable?
Yeah. That's what elections are for. If you want to have accountability, then first of all, you kind of have to look in the mirror and be able to accept some accountability yourself.
Well, if I had a mirror to show you, I would, but I don't. But again, what I will say though is, you seriously think an elected official should only be held accountable every 4 years at the polls? Because here's the thing again.
You get public feedback all the time.
Do you listen to it?
Do you?
I definitely do.
I think you do. I think what you have going on is like a propaganda thing, and I think maybe you should take a step back and stop trying to fire or unseat people who don't agree with what you're doing. Because we are not just speaking for ourselves. We are speaking for the citizens who reach out to us and say, how do we stop this guy? He's out of control.
I have the exact opposite feedback.
Well, I'd love to.
What I will say, I want to go over a conversation that I had with a council member. So I approached them, and I told them the idea. The idea is to remove the censure part of it. The first comment that I received back is that's communism. The second comment I received back is that's mob rule. The third comment I received back was, well, you're just going to rile people up to remove council members. That's not true. There's 1,200 signatures you have to get. I'm sorry, but that is more than anybody up here has been elected with. Even me, the rest of the council members who have been elected with 250 votes, that is more than anybody has been elected with. Not only that, there's then a recall after that. And then to go back, my concern is that I was told, so Chris, we're hearing on our end from the bedrock community of Tawnytown that they want to see you removed. What is the bedrock community of Tawnytown? We're up here to serve all residents of Tawnytown, whether you've lived here 1 year, 5 year, 10 year, 20 year, 30 year.
That part. You keep forgetting that part.
I keep forgetting. Just last meeting, you criticized me on not being here long enough to be up here serving.
If so many people want him out, why not put this in?
There'll be comment period later.
Doc, this is what I thought. I mean, I'm listening to this, and the mayor is trying to get in the recall. This is the mayor trying to get it in so that there can be a recall usage for the city of Tawnytown. And the city council, they don't want it. And you heard what the lady said. Well, you want to recall accountability. Well, I mean, that's the next election. No, you need to be held accountable 24 hours a day, 365. You don't get to stay clear of any accountability, and then they look at that at the end of your 4 years. Now let's look and see how accountable they were. I mean, what do you think of what you just heard, Doc?
Well, I think it's an issue without a doubt. This happens to be the area that I've spent most of my life working in, the field of elections. And I think we've reached the stage now where we need to have this dialogue, and I would say immediately after this primary election, that we want to have a meeting where we discuss what communities and what the city of Baltimore can do legislatively to address how you get rid of an elected official other than what we presently have. And there are some names that I've already begun to look at to invite. And of course, Sean, I'm going to put you on the top of the list.
Thank you.
But there are some folks, I want to have a discussion about recall and other things. I know that T.J. Smith has one concept that he likes, but I want to have a meeting where we actually have a public discussion about how we get rid of candidates other than waiting 4 years for the next election. I want to invite Murray Hughes, T.J. Smith, Giovanni Patterson, Larry Gibson, Crystal Parker, Michael Eugene Johnson, Linda Batts. I want to invite at least those to come and all come prepared with how do we improve the electoral process in the city of Baltimore, the state of Maryland, to be able to get the right people in at the right time to represent us. And when we've made a mistake, as I think we have done for the last 24, 28 years, and electing the wrong people in Baltimore City, how do we rectify that rather than waiting for 4 years? So there will be a discussion about, I guess, what are the means by which we can create a process to get rid of folks rather than waiting every 4 years.
Yes, waiting for 4 years, or waiting for an FBI raid. No, we don't want to have to. We don't want to have to wait for some clown who was elected to be raided by the FBI and have 12 indictments or 15 indictments or whatever before, you know, they have to leave. We need a process where you see someone who's committing or who's enabling sexual harassment, and they're an elected official, and they're enabling it, and they're pushing it. They're more than enabling, okay? And you have this person, no matter what office they're in, just like you heard earlier, with the mayor and with the governor, Cuomo, and kudos to Letitia James, the Attorney General for New York, who did her job, unlike Anthony Brown, Mr. One-Termer, okay, who did her job. So yes, this is it's a very important issue, and I'm gonna get to the next clip I'm gonna play. Before I play it, I want to go over, Doc, have you heard about this Goucher poll that came out?
Heard it this morning on T.J. Smith's show, and the fact that they are alleged through their Goucher poll that the incumbent mayor is increasing his possibility of being reelected.
Well, for the people to vote for Slim Shady, you need your head examined. What are you, stupid? The man, BG&E, stabbed you in the back? What are you, retarded? That may not be politically correct, but I'm going to say it. We got rocks in your head? The man stabbed you in the back with the BG&E giving control to a major conglomerate. Lord knows what he got for it. And then you want to vote this clown back in? And that's another story. Now, I'm not even going to go in all the other malfeasance going on with this guy. So, but here's the thing. Goucher poll, see, I look at things. I'm a three-dimensional thinker. I don't just go with what you tell me and go, oh, okay, he's up in the polls by 9%. Wow, it must have been because of the accident. What happened with the barge running into the Key Bridge, and I guess with him going on TV and national TV and all over MSNBC, just crying and whining and crying on the governor's shoulders. And I guess people must have said, wow, this man really cares. And then I guess that's why I got a boost in the polls. Brandon got a boost in the polls. No. Wait, no. See, Goucher poll is connected in this poll with the Baltimore Banner. The Baltimore Banner is connected with who? WJZ. WJZ, as far as the newscast I see that they have, this is my personal opinion, lean heavily towards Brandon being mayor again. So you got to connect the dots. You just can't take something on face value. Think, use your brain. Don't use your head for just a hat rack, as I was told when I was younger. Use your brain for something. Think. Okay, now I'm going to go over the numbers quickly. I don't want to bore people with all these numbers. And there's like 23 pages of numbers. But I'm gonna go over quickly what's going on. First of all, when you do a poll, you have to have all of the candidates, not just four. How many candidates in the Democratic Party are running for mayor, Doc? Is it like 11 or something, 12?
No, 13.
13. Okay, I stand corrected.
Three, I think at least. One is an independent, 3 are Republicans, and I think the 10 or 11 of the others
are Democrats. Okay, so that's what let's focus on the Democrats now. Now the Democrats, 10, 11 folk. So you do a poll with 4 people and you ask these people about 4 folks. That right there means your poll sucks. Your poll is no good. Take your poll, ball it up, stick that thumb sideways, and stick it where the sun don't shine, because that's what it's worth, because you didn't include all the candidates. But I will go over this hot mess of a poll that's not worth crap, okay, because you only you only ask them about 4 candidates and you miss 7 other candidates. But in looking at this, do you think things in Maryland are headed in the right track or the wrong track? 51% say wrong track. I thought that was low. Should have been a lot higher than that. Brandon Scott, disapprove, approve. The people look like there's 47% disapprove of Brandon Scott. He has a disapproval rating of 47%. That is high, very high. Nick Mosby has a disapproval rating of 53%. Nick, bye-bye. You can kiss that bye-bye, Nick. Goodbye. Because unlike that, it's just only a few people running for the city president, council city president. Anyway, I digress. Let me quickly move ahead. It looks like here with the other candidates, the mayor, I'm sorry, it's 41% unfavorable. It was 47 for something else. Dixon has a 43% unfavorable. Thuru has a 44% unfavorable, either unfavorable or very unfavorable. And Bob Wallace has a 37%. It's the lowest, but here's the thing Bob needs and Thuru need to do. Don't know or unable to judge for Thuru, 21%. Don't know, unable to judge for Bob, 44%. Wow, that's really high. That's really high. So you guys need to get on the good foot, because you got a lot out there and people haven't really made up their minds yet from what I'm reading from this poll. Wow.
I made a recommendation through the internet that I suggested as a result of the Goucher poll. Not that I necessarily agree or disagree, but I think their numbers in general are close to being correct. That there are only 4 that are really running for mayor that are standing above the other candidates, which means there are at least 7 candidates that I'm suggesting that they step out, think of endorsing one of the other 4 that are running, because you're going to become a spoiler in this election. There's so many of you that are running that the possibility of votes coming to you that will mean nothing because you won't win the election, that those votes are going to help someone to get elected.
Exactly.
And rather than you being an accessory to someone getting elected, why don't you step out of the way and endorse one of the other Democratic candidates? It's just a Democratic issue. There are only 3 Republicans running. So I'm saying to you Democrats, the majority of you that are running, you don't stand a chance in hell of winning. So why are you being a spoiler in this election? You're going to be the cause of someone getting elected because you use your little influence. Most of you don't have any money. Most of you don't have a campaign to run. All you're doing is talking. Well, stop the damn talking and support one of the other candidates.
Thank you, Doc, for making my point. The point is, and you made my point, that skews the poll that Goucher did because of the other candidates that are pulling votes from the 4 candidates. So it's skewed. It's no good. The poll's no good. But here's another thing that it says. This is very important. Everybody listen up. Listen to Uncle Sean, because he knows what he's talking about. This poll says that 41% either could change their mind, and that's 37% actually, could change their mind. So the vote, the people who they say they were going to vote for, it's not a solid vote. And 4% said they don't know or not sure. So that's a total of 41%. So that's extremely high. Yes, it is. So it's up for anybody. It's up for grabs, specifically, especially for those top 4 It's up for grabs. Anybody can grab this. And of course, you know, the Banner and Goucher is with the Banner and the Banner, WJZ, and they lean towards Brandon. And Brandon, I believe Brandon's getting smoked. I think this thing is absolutely no good. That's my opinion. Brandon's getting smoked. Nobody likes Brandon. Let me go out and say this. Let me get on my soapbox just for a little bit. Let me get up a little bit higher. Let me get on my soapbox. No one I've talked to likes Brandon Scott. They can't stand him. They can't stand the man. The things that people tell me about Brandon Scott and the words they use, even though this is a podcast and I can say whatever I want, I'm not going to use the language that the people use in talking about Brandon Scott. They can't stand him. Okay, so the fact that all these people I talk to, all meaning 9 out of 10, can't stand him, and he's hiring the poll, tells me that that's another reason why this poll is no good. This poll sucks. Because no one I know likes Brandon Scott, and they sure don't want him to be mayor again. I'm just saying that.
Or heard the TV commercial that they have?
I laughed. You know how hard I laughed when I heard about how great he was and how he's the best thing since sliced bread and that commercial that they did. I laughed. That was a joke. I said, I can't believe that they put this mess out. I'm going to play it next week.
5 very specific lies that the people that they have doing the commercial are
it was a joke.
Are doing the program. They're trying to give him credit for doing things when in fact the issue is really just the opposite.
Exactly. And this recall, as a matter of fact, you know what? Here's what's interesting. Let's get a snapshot of how the people felt about Brandon, okay, a few years back. I'm pretty sure it's the same, if not worse. But I want to give people a little clip, a snapshot. Let me go ahead and cue it up of what people thought of Brandon Scott. And I'm sure they still do. And I'm sure it's a whole lot worse now.
Live in Baltimore are frustrated with leadership. The Fox 45's Mackenzie Frost continues our live team coverage tonight with the options on the table. Mackenzie?
Well, Kai, as you know, Mayor Brandon Scott has been in office for just about a year now, but that's not stopping some people across the city from calling for the mayor to be recalled. And the mayor himself, he doesn't seem to want to hear it. Crime, grime, and questions. Baltimore City constants, despite city benches calling Charm City the greatest city in America. Some people in Baltimore...
It doesn't seem like it's getting any better.
What doesn't?
Everything.
Not satisfied with Mayor Brandon Scott's time in office.
He has a nice haircut, though.
A nice haircut, does that solve the city's problems?
No, it does not. No, it does not. It doesn't solve the city's problems at all.
He trying to do his best, but he can't do no more than the other mayor.
Well, not everyone is frustrated with his administration.
How you satisfied with his job? You feel me?
A Fox 45 News unscientific poll showing 200 voters, or 95% of respondents, say yes, Mayor Scott should be recalled.
There we go.
Tuesday.
95% said that he... Let me go back again. Let me replay that.
When 200 voters, or 95% of respondents, say yes, Mayor Scott should be recalled.
Yes, he should have been recalled. He should be... Yes. So how in the world, in this Goucher poll, Baltimore Banner, WJZ, leaning towards favorably, heavily, Brandon Scott, from what I see, the way they cover him, how in the world can you... Your credibility, Goucher, in Baltimore Banner is seriously... Forget it. I mean, your credibility is shot. When this is what people were saying, and they're even more disgusted and angry at this high-top fade wearing, oh no, let me cut it down a little bit lower, low fade wearing, oh no, let me make it curly and look all curlied up and put some conditioner in my hair to make it look curly. Mayor Brandon Scott, let me finish.
Tuesday night, Mayor Scott, I tried to ask the mayor for a response to the frustration brewing in the city. Mayor Scott, some people say that they want to see a recall. What do you say to that? Silence from the...
Yeah, because he's an arrogant. Okay, and Doc, I need to say this. I'm going to let this finish up quick, but I have to say this. And this is very important for you candidates. And as a matter of fact, a little birdie told me that there might be some monies set aside. There might be some money set aside for an audit of the election. See, if there's like an 8,000, 10,000 ballot drop out of nowhere and the counting's going on during the mayor's race, and then they stop in the evening to stop the count because other candidate is ahead, and then the next morning all of a sudden the candidate that was in second place just pops out of nowhere and has all these votes. Little birdie, I don't know if you've heard it, Doc. I don't know if you heard it, but little birdies out there might be some money set aside to do a proper audit. Ooh, ouchie. Ooh.
I always contend that an audit only substantiate, the facts coming from any election. The only thing that I say that, folks, and I'm not throwing a bullet at anyone, but 99% of you don't know a dang thing about elections. And I'm saying, folks, why do you hire a plumber to do electrical work? And I'm saying, folks, there are enough of us that have years of experience in the field of elections that you need to call upon us to investigate the election. But don't sit there and call on people. The only thing they can do is talk, but they have no experience in the field of elections. There are very few people who have expertise, professional expertise in the field of elections. Stop calling for electricians when you need a plumber.
Yeah, because that just, you know what? Because that's too much like right. It's too much like right. But, this funny business going on, and there's going to be, the little birdie said, the process that happened last time, and these machines, and the things that losing flash drives and going back into the building to go into the machine to look for the flash drives. Ooh, that's very suspect.
I tell folks this, Sean. If you cannot take the voting apparatus that the state of Maryland has, that it uses in all of its polling places, if you, as an expert, cannot take that machine apart and put it back together again and have it operating, you don't know elections. You should not be trying to analyze what happens in elections if you don't know the equipment and you don't know the process that they use to count the ballots. Stop using folks that are not professionals in elections. And 99% of you are not experts in this area.
Doc, I agree. I agree wholeheartedly. I'm going to go because this show, we're going to talk about it. We're going to talk about it in just a little bit. But before we get one more time about the protest, April the 30th, the protest about the horrific conditions that the employees go through at the Elijah Cummings building. If Elijah Cummings was alive, he would never allow what's going on in that building to take place. The man's he's probably rolling in his grave with what's being done in a building under his name. But we're gonna touch on that.
April the 30th at 12 noon, folks.
April the 30th at 12 noon in front of Elijah Cummings Courthouse.
Calvin and Fayette Street.
Calvin and Fayette. But before we get back to that and close out, what is going on with these presidents and chicken? Now you got Trump with the chicken. First it was Biden with the chicken. He took some fried chicken to this black family, I guess to get votes to show that he's hip, even though he said, if you don't vote for me, then you ain't black. If you don't vote for me, then you ain't black. So this is the guy taking fried chicken to a home with the kids, and Trump went to visit Chick-fil-A, and I guess he figured he's going to show Biden, if you're going to involve chicken in your campaign, Joe, this is how you do it. So let me go ahead and play this. It's the chicken. Chicken has come home to roost.
And some of the black voters that were in attendance say, yeah, Joe Biden is a giant racist. Look at his record from the 1990s, where Joe Biden was locking up hundreds of thousands of black men for a scintilla of the amount of crack that his son was doing on camera. Yeah, his son never goes to prison. Some doesn't even have drug charges against him. Joe Biden eviscerated an entire generation of young black men in this country, and then did nothing to his son. What does that tell you? What does it tell you about the timber of Joe Biden? So these pictures terrify the left. Donald Trump, look at the smiling face. Look at everyone smiling at Donald Trump. Donald Trump cracking jokes, riffing, holding court, hugging the voters.
Now let me explain, because you don't have the video. You can pull this up on YouTube. Donald Trump at Chick-fil-A. He goes into Chick-fil-A, and he's got his people with him, and he's talking and he's joking, and there are young ladies, African-American black young ladies behind the counter, about, 20 of them. And they're just smiling, and they're talking to Trump and getting along just fine, and another young lady, African-American lady, black lady comes over, and she talking about the HBCUs and how much money Trump got to the HBCUs. The Biden didn't give HBCUs jack, and gives Trump a big hug, and it's a whole thing. It's a love fest, kumbaya. But anyway, let me continue.
They'll never show you this, but they will give nonstop and unlimited propaganda to a very different president who decided to go bring fried chicken to a black family, and did so in a way with much less rizz than Donald Trump, in a way that is so painful to watch. Frankly, it boggles the mind why they would ever release it.
Now that's Biden mumbling. It's hard to understand him because he's mumbling with the fried chicken. And the young boys, they gave him some fried chicken box, and he had a hamburger, and he's mumbling. So we'll get through the mumbling, but be patient.
He can't even get it. That's what made the cut. That line, that's what made the cut about you guys. What you doing these days? What you's doing these days? Yeah. Joe Biden's never met these people, by the way.
What you doing, man?
Like, is this really how you talk? This is the retail politician. This is the famous Joe Biden, the famous retail politician.
Yeah.
Famous lunch pail Joe.
How you doing?
This is the best he's got.
Shit about Joe. Passing sports.
Okay, and you basketball right now.
Are you ready to go in your guard?
Yes, sir.
Your guard?
No. What grade are you in?
7th grade.
7th grade.
My mom just played basketball, play this. And it's cool, it's a great experience.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I'm impressed.
I'm impressed.
Contrast that with this.
The media tells you Mr. Trump, we support you. Support you, man. Okay, support you. Tell me what media you are.
Now there was a bunch of black folks talking about they support Trump because they get cut out of the Democratic plantation. Let me continue.
Let me give you a hug. And on his way out, Donald Trump, of course, absolutely jackhammers Hillary Clinton.
More than twice the money that we had. And how did that race turn out? I'm not 100% sure.
Now this is, I got to intervene this. For you candidates are running, Trump said that Hillary Clinton had more than twice the amount of money he had. I mean, she had more than double the amount of money Trump had, but Trump whooped her. So don't go with this thing where they're putting out, hey, this candidate has this amount of money and this, and no. I mean, unless you got like $10 or a couple of thousand, that's all you got. You're not going to be able to compete with somebody with hundreds of thousands of dollars. But if you're close and you're in that race, so the money thing, there you go. Let me continue.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is how winning's done. All right?
Yes.
This is how winning's done. We have put it up on X. We said, this is how you win, man. This is it. Black woman taking selfie with Trump. Trump tells them, I'm going to get rid of Biden. The entire Chick-fil-A erupts. One man yells, bye-bye, Sleepy Joe. Trump then says Biden's terrible to black Americans, brings up votes from the 1990s. This is how you win. Suckers, this is flying. We just sent this.
The social media blew up on this, is blowing up on this Trump Chick-fil-A And yes, I said it a little over a year ago, that the black vote is leaving the Democratic Party, and because of the things that are being done, the high crime rate in Democratic cities is through the roof, Democratic run, and to take our vote, because I was a Democrat, to take our vote and just say, hey, you just go and vote Democrat. We can do whatever we want. We can say and do whatever we want, huh, child? Because you're going to vote Democrat anyway. So look at here. If you don't vote for me, then you ain't black. And by the way, yes, I did give the eulogy to a grand wizard of the KKK. Y'all, look at here. So y'all black folks, you keep doing what you're doing because y'all behave yourself. And you keep voting Democrat. Crime going up, everything going up, food price going up, Bidenomics. And y'all just keep on voting for us, you hear? No, I think for myself. Nobody tells me what party I belong to or don't belong to and how I should vote. I vote any way I want to vote. And if you're not doing me right, and you're not doing right by my peeps and by my family and by my beliefs and by my Christianity, and you're not doing right by that, then you're not getting my vote. And that's it, bottom line. So, Doc, what do you think about this issue with parties and thinking that they can just have your vote willy-nilly?
I would say historically we should know that neither party had really done anything significant for us. We don't deserve to have either party have us as members of their party. We need to be separate and apart and vote on the best candidate.
Yes.
White or black, Democrat, Republican,
Exactly.
gay or straight. We need to be voting for the best candidate, but we got to do our homework, because for the last 24, 28 years, we have done ourselves a great disservice because we have poorly elected the people that represent us. But we need to stop worrying about whether it's a D or a R or black or white or gay or straight. We need to look at what are the things that we need, and we need to have a process by which we have candidates address the issues that affect us. And if they don't talk, I'll talk. We need to walk and walk.
I believe exactly that, Doc. If they're not saying what we need to hear, not doing what they're supposed to do, because a lot of people talk and they don't back it up. They talk a good game. Oh, I'm going to do this and I'm going to do that, and I'm going to help you here, and I'm going to do all this for you, and I'm going to do the right thing when I get in, and then I'm going to have an audit. I'm going to make sure there's an audit done, and I'm going to do right by the employees, and I'm going to have an open door policy, and I'm going to do right. Everything's going to be roses and sunshine when I get in, and then you turn out to be a daggone Ivan the Terrible. I don't mean Ivan Bates. I'm not talking about him. I'm just using Ivan Terrible, because you know people, they'll go, hey man, Ivan, no. And you turn out to be some Adolf Hitler type dictator. You turn out to be Fidel Castro. That's what you turn out to be, and that's what the people are dealing with in these governments. With these people who get in, there has to be a mechanism to get rid of them. Doc, thanks a lot. We got to go, everyone. Thanks for
a great show.
And that's terrific. And Doc, thank you. And everyone, take care and God bless.
You want answers? I think I'm entitled. You want answers? I want the truth. You can't handle the truth.